Hi all, welcome to my channel. I am Amila and this is Stand Forever Young Naturally. It's a day after Groundhog Day and boy is it hot out here in Las Vegas. So I do feel sorry for those people who have to deal with 6 more weeks of winter, because here technically we really didn't have a winter. We may have had a couple of cold days, but for the most part the sun was always shining, as it is right now. So hopefully we can get through this video without the phone overheating. So on today's episode I want to talk about multiple truths. Okay, there can be multiple things that can be the truth. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because last night my nephew and I were having a conversation. And in our conversation, we were speaking on anxiety. I was explaining to him how anxiety works for me. So with me being an empath, I'm just super sensitive to energy and incoming information that's coming in. It could be clear audio, it could be clairsentient, clear visual, clear, all the clairs, right? And I can pick up on psychic information. So for me, when there's a overload of anxiety, what I have come to realize in the past is either there's some intrusive energies that I picked up somewhere, probably from helping someone, or I allowed my vibration to drop down, and so that energy was a match. I've had situations where spirits, when I say spirit, ancestors, other spirits that was once incarnated in this life but has gone on to the other side, might be trying to get my attention about something, and I busy with life, more than likely ignoring them, and then they get to the point to where they're like, okay, I need to get your attention, so since you're ignoring us, I need to give you a healthy dose of anxiety. And usually I'm like, okay, you got my attention, what's going on? Then the information flows in and I don't have to deal with anxiety anymore. And then sometimes I can meet certain people and they may be a host to 50,000 energy spirits that is not of the highest vibration, and I can feel that from them just based on the amount of anxiety that hits my energy field. So that's how anxiety works for me. With my nephew, he's a creative, right? So when he has a certain amount of creative ventures, creative ideas, or if he's been stagnant in his creative energy, it's going to hit him like anxiety. It's going to say, no, 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 no. We need to get out. You need to release us, because if you're a creative, your vessel is a channel for those creative ideas, music, art, creation. He paints, sews, does music, produce, and so he's just a creative, right? So if he is not using his vessel to allow that creativity to come in, then his anxiety is on high. He chooses to smoke a cigarette to suppress it. No judgment here, but that's how he handles his anxiety. So the reason why I preface that is because both of those are truth, and there are multiple truth coming from multiple perspective, because he is an entity within his own self and his own right, and within his vessel as a human avatar, and the same holds true for me. So there's a lot of truth within me that will not be the same for him or anybody else, because at the end of the day, we are separate but the same, but we are separate individuals and separate entities. But the truth is, another part of that truth is we are all human for the most part, most of us. But at least my nephew and I are human when we were having that conversation. Okay, so this is just speaking of from a human vessel, a human point of view. Another truth, or another way to look at multiple truth. I grew up in a household where it was four of us, right? Four girls. And we lost our father when we were very young. I was 4 years old, and I'm a twin. So when I wrote my book, a little bit of that information I did put in the book, because I just wanted to tell my story, how I started and got to the person that I am today, right? So when I was telling the story by the way that I remember it and how it affected me emotionally, physically, and within my energy field, when my twin sister was reading the story, she goes, wow, all of that is true, but that's not how I saw it. That's not how I took it in, and that's not how it affected me. Which, that's her truth. What I wrote is my truth. And then ultimately, the truth is, we did lose our father from murder when we were 4 years old, and it did affect us. That's the truth. But depending on the lens, the fractal, and the perspective and the scope that is coming from, that truth falls within multiple layers and ranges, right? So there can be multiple truth. There's one thing that my eldest sister always says. She'll break it down like this. She'll say 2 plus 5 makes 7. And the reason why I'm using 7 is her favorite number, right? Everyone has a favorite number for the most part. 2 plus 5 is 7. 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 plus 4 is 7. And let's say 7 plus 0 equals 7. They all equal 7, the truth of it, right? It may be broken down in different numbers, right? So I use or I specify different numerical values, but at the end of the equation, it both equals to 7, right? So I made this video because of the conversation that my nephew and I had last night. I just wanted to bring the wisdom and the realization to you that before you engage in an argument, and you really don't want to argue because that puts you at a low vibration, but sometimes these things happen because we're only human, right? Before you engage into an argument with someone, understand and realize that there are multiple truths depending on that person's perspective, how they were raised, how they see life through their optical, right, their eyeballs, and just basically how they see life in general. It doesn't always mean that you're going to see it the same. Life is full of so many infinite possibilities. So why can that be infinite possibility or infinite truth? Not infinite possibilities of truth, but infinite truth depending on who you're speaking with, right? And so before I close this out, the last example is so some people, truth is I'm 50 years old, and yes, that's the truth. I identify with the age that I feel. I don't feel like a 50-year-old. I feel 38. I live my life sometimes like a 35-year-old, and sometimes I have the energy of a 25-year-old, right? That's my truth. A person who says that you're 50, that's their truth. Have I been on this earth 50 years? Was I born 50 years ago? Absolutely. That is still a truth, right? So though that's multiple truth. But here's another truth. Am I timeless? That's my truth. Yes. Mentally, physically, and spiritually, that's my truth. So when you on your journey of making sure you remain forever young, whatever it is within your truth, within your energy body, within your soul that makes you feel young, and your truth in the age that you want to identify with is your truth. Do not let anybody skew you or push you away from that truth, because you have your God-given right to use your vessel and identify in your vessel the way that you want to identify. And we know that, right? Because there's people out here identifying as whatever it is they want. So why can't you identify as 25 if you're 35, or 45 if you're 65? It's all in what you believe and what you perceive your truth to be. I hope this has been helpful for you while you are on your journey of staying forever young naturally. I love you all. Stay aligned, stay whole, and stay within your truth. And until the next time, I will talk to you soon. Mwah, 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 mwah. Love you. Bye.